Deion Sanders never lied when he said he was going to get to work overhauling this roster during the offseason. Talent acquisition is the name of the game in college football, and in this video, I'm going to give you my 10 most important additions for Coach Prime and the Buffs this offseason. And I want to know yours as well. But first, Colorado fans, it's time to jump on board. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruit channel. We love talking Coach Prime and the Buffs, so do me a favor and hit subscribe. Okay. I'm going to go through my list of the 10 most important additions in descending order. So meaning the first names I talk about, 10, 9, 8, I think those are the players that are going to make a little less of an impact as we get higher up on the list, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that makes sense to you. All right, let's get into it. And we'll start at number 10 with defensive lineman Quinn Barnes. He comes from Alabama, and I'm taking a bit of a flyer here at 10 because he hasn't had that many opportunities. But he's a big, massive presence inside at 6'5", 300 pounds. Barnes didn't play his first 2 years at Alabama, but he did see action in 2 games last season. He's originally out of Montgomery, Alabama, where he's a 4-star prospect. He was number 357 in the country in the 21 cycle. I like him. I'm taking a bit of a flyer here at number 10. All right, let's move on to number 9. We got defensive lineman Brandon Davis Swain. Now, he came from the high school level. He was a signee in 2024. And he was one of the first 4-star recruits to pledge to Coach Prime in the cycle, and I think he kind of gave some legitimacy to the Buffs 2024 class. Now, he comes from the state of Michigan. He had pretty much every offer in the Big Ten, but Davis Swain made a couple visits to Colorado, and I think that was the difference maker. He steps on campus around 6'3", 245, so he's a versatile defensive lineman. I think he's going to add more weight as time goes on, but I think we could see him contribute early on. All right, number 8, another transfer. Interior offensive lineman Torian Carter. Now, he was a defensive lineman that finished his 5th year at Arkansas. He entered the transfer portal, committed to SMU out of the portal, but then flipped to Colorado. So Carter still has 2 years of eligibility. He's made 32 appearances for the Razorbacks. He brings some veteran leadership to that offensive front. And, you know, during his career in Arkansas, he finished. He played really well. So I like the addition here. I think it solidifies that offensive front. At a minimum, he adds depth. All right, moving on. Number 7, defensive lineman Samuel Okun Lola. Now, the former Panther had 5 sacks on the season. He really shined last year. 18 total tackles, 6 for loss. He hit the portal and got a lot of interest early from FSU, Mizzou, Ole Miss, USC, among others. 6'4", 225 pounds, should come in and contribute this season. All right, number 6 on my list, two-way athlete Cam Michael out of Statesboro, Georgia. This one came down to Colorado, Tennessee, and Georgia. Big-time competition here. There's a lot of talk in comparisons to Travis Hunter. He's from the state of Georgia. He stars on both sides of the football. Now, early on, most teams liked him as a defensive back, but it was Colorado that was open to him playing not only DB, but also on offense. Tennessee came around to it. Georgia eventually as well gave him an opportunity to play on offense, but he really liked the loyalty that Coach Prime believed in him to be a two-way player on the next level. And Cam Michael is a buff. We'll see what he does this season. Now let's get into the top 5. These are the guys that I think are really going to contribute this season. Coach Prime had to work for this one. We're talking edge BJ Green. He originally hit the transfer portal from Arizona State and committed to Washington first, but Colorado flipped him on January 29th. 6'1", 270, big junior season. So I like the way his career is trending coming out of Arizona State. 56 pressures, 34 hurries, 14 hits, according to Pro Football Focus. They had him as the highest graded defender on that roster. Now, the Buffs lacked a consistent pass rush, and I think BJ Green can fill that need for Colorado. I think he'll be impactful. All right, number 4, offensive tackle Tyler Green, coming from Houston as a transfer, big body on the offensive front. He's 6'5", 325. In 2019, he came out of Conroe, Texas. He was a 4-star recruit, another veteran presence on that offensive front, needs some protection for Shador. And I think Tyler Johnson, of all the offensive linemen that they brought in from the transfer portal, I think Tyler Johnson is the one to watch. All right, number 3. From the high school level, we got Dron Miller. I loved him coming out of high school out of Texas. He was a one-time Aggie commitment. Yes, he was committed to Texas A&M for some time. He decommitted when Jimbo Fisher got fired, and I thought it was going to be LSU. but 2 visits to Colorado late in the cycle provided enough to be the difference. He's an electric wide receiver. I think he can also help out with special teams. Maybe not a day one starter here for Dron Miller, but I do think he's going to play meaningful minutes in year 1 for Colorado. All right, into that top 3 at number 2. We have wide receiver Will Shepard. Vandy wide receiver transfer. He was one of the top most coveted wide receivers in the early portal. Very productive year for Vandy. I believe he scored 21 career touchdowns, so he is very familiar with the end zone. Last year, he averaged 14.6 yards per catch. That's a big-time production. I think he's going to be a high-volume pass catcher for the Buffs. Look for him to be one of Shedor's top targets. All right. Number 1, and if you follow this channel for any time, you know that I'm always high on offensive tackle Jordan Seaton, the top-rated commitment in Colorado's class, the crown jewel of Coach Prime's 2024 high school recruiting class, the number 1 offensive tackle in the country. Pick Colorado on national TV over Tennessee, Georgia, among others. Now, Coach Prime made a statement with this one. I mean, he went out and landed the best offensive player against some of the best teams in the country, and I expect Jordan Seaton to play next year at Colorado. His presence will be felt. He's massive, a huge pickup at a position in need for Coach Prime, and that's why he's my number 1 most important pickup this offseason for Colorado. But I need to know who you think I'm missing on this list. I could only put 10. There was a lot more additions to this roster. Let me know. Who are you most looking forward to seeing? Is it Jordan Seaton? Is it Cam Michael? Will Shepard? Somebody that I didn't even list? Tell me, Colorado fans. Who do you think is the most important addition of the offseason? Let me know. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed that, go check out the hundreds of videos that we have on this channel, and also do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel.